Hi everyone, and welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is May, and today, what the heck was that? Today I have a comparison video, and I am comparing a very new addition to my collection to a very old addition, and that is going to be none other than the Polene Cyme in the size mini compared to my Neverfull size. Don't mind the little stuffing. So yes, I recently added this handbag into my collection. I do have a unboxing video and a first impression video in regards to her already up on my channel. So I'll leave those two linked down below. But I really wanted to do this comparison video because I honestly really believe that this can be the next best thing compared to the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. So I have had my Louis Vuitton Neverfull in the size for years. Do not fall. I have had my Louis Vuitton Neverfull in the size for over a decade, and I've loved this bag. I mean, when I added her into my collection, it was a bag that I didn't want to put down. I have grown to be a top handle sort of girl over the years, but for the most part, when I used to go especially into the office, I loved a good tote bag, because it was just so easy for me to be able to throw all of my things in there and not have to think about downsizing one little bit. However, as my lifestyle has sort of changed, you guys can obviously see from my handbag collection at the moment, it's definitely transitioned into smaller sort of top handle, even crossbody kind of options. But with all that being said, this new little addition has just filled a void in my handbag collection that I really didn't know was missing, and that was the specifics of a tote bag. So I wasn't gravitating to my Neverfull just because I did feel like it was a little bit bigger. However, the Cyme in the mini size is really just such a great size to incorporate into your handbag collection. So in today's video, I will be doing a comparison in regards to both of these pieces. I will share with you how it is that they lay on my body, sort of the different ways that you can style these handbags in order to kind of give different looks to one specific bag. I will also share how a laptop fits in each of these pieces, because it definitely fits better in one than the other. And with all that being said, at the end of this video, I hope you can honestly take away that the Polene Cyme can really be the best next alternative to the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. Alright, so let's quickly get into the specs of each of these handbags, and I do have a lot of information written down, so you'll probably catch me glimpsing down. That's why. The Neverfull currently retails for $2,030 here in the States, and that is just the size. The measurements of this one is 12.6 inches across, 11.4 height, and then 6.7 in width. Quick little side note, I did want to share that when you do cinch in the bag like this opening right here is 11 inches running across. Now, my Neverfull in particular is in a coated canvas, and then it does have the leather trimmings throughout. Now, the Neverfull does not have a zipper, which I know many of you love and hate. It does have a sort of small little lobster clasp kind of closure situation there in case you did want to close your handbag. In the interior, you do have a zippered pocket on the back. You also have a D-ring, which attaches a pouch that the Neverfull currently comes with. I sold off my pouch because I just simply didn't use it, but that pouch is obviously detachable as I did sell it off. However, you can also just attach anything else that you wanted to in that D-ring. And then the Neverfull only has a sort of shoulder strap that you can play around with. However, you could carry it in the crook of your arm if you felt comfortable that way. I did want to mention that the shoulder strap drop from the top all the way to the beginning of the bag is 9 inches. Now let's go ahead and compare it to its competitor, and that is the Polene Cyme in the mini size. This one retails for $460. The regular, I think, is in the $600 or $500 range. Still very affordable compared to the Neverfull, in my opinion. And the measurements on the Polene Cyme are 7 inches from just the bottom base right here. So this part here. Then it's 9 inches in height. It is 5.5 inches in width, and I measured it from the furthest or the biggest width part available, so it is kind of like in the middle of the handbag. Now, when the handbag is opened like this, you do have a total of 17 inches running from side to side. However, when it is cinched in like this, it is 11 inches from side to side. The Polene Cyme, whether it's the mini or the regular size, does come in a textured calf leather. So it is a full leather handbag with a suede lining interior. It also does come with a detachable little pouch inside, also full leather pouch. And it does not have any other interior pockets. You also have a magnetic closure sort of clasp. It doesn't have a zipper. However, they do add these sort of little tabs here, which you can technically detach from the side and bring into the handbag, sort of closing it in a sense. Now, the leather is very sturdy in the beginning, so keep that in mind if you do choose to style it this way, but pretty much this is what you're able to do. It kind of gives you an opportunity to kind of like cinch in the sides a little bit more to close off the bag. I probably will never use it like this, but it is nice that they added that little touch in case you wanted a little bit more security. And last but not least, the Polene Cyme does offer a top handle as well as a shoulder option. So the shoulder drop length is 11.5 inches from the top of the strap all the way to the start of the handbag, so right here. And then the top handle drop length is 5.5 inches. Let's get into some pros and cons of both of these pieces, and let's start off with the material of each. So as I said, the Louis Vuitton Neverfull is currently offered in all leather, but just to compare the ones that I currently have, being that mine is the coated canvas, I honestly feel like Louis Vuitton's coated canvas is pretty indestructible. I mean, I've had this bag for over a decade and the canvas looks just absolutely amazing, like in brand new, excellent condition. The Polene being an all leather bag, I do have to give it a little bit of time in order to use her. I've had her for probably a month by the time that you're watching this video. However, I do own other Polene fully leathered handbags and they have held up extremely well. So I do feel like the fact that they went for a full grains leather option for these handbags was the right way to go and will make them very durable as time passes on. Another pro that I did want to point out, and that is a major point for the Polene handbag, and that is just the versatility of this piece. I love that you can wear it with the sides cinched out, which you can also do in the Neverfull, basically styled as it is. However, you also have the option of cinching in the sides for this particular handbag, and they have added magnets in order to make sure that those sides sort of stay put. So it gives you a completely different look for this bag, but at the same time, I still think it's super cute and gives you the opportunity to play around with the bag depending on the vibe that you're going for the day. Again, those magnets here are definitely very secure and will keep the bag in place. I do feel that even though the Neverfull also has these little tabs here, which does allow you to also cinch in the sides as well, they aren't as secure as those magnets from the Polene handbag. I have tried doing this before, and I don't know if it's just that my leather is very soft since I've had it for so long, but it does cinch in on the sides like this, giving the bag a completely different look. However, over time, it starts sliding out, and then before you know it, your bag is back to being its own little Neverfull self again. So with that being notated, I do feel that Polene went the smarter route by adding those magnets in order to cinch in the sides. And then last but not least, a con that I feel that they both share, and that is the fact that neither of them offer a zipper closure. So this one has a sort of lobster clasp kind of situation going on, and then the Polene has a magnetic closure. Out of both, I do feel that Polene's magnetic closure is a little bit more secure than the clasp, just because when you do close the clasp in the Neverfull, the handbag pretty much still remains open, and it makes it easy if you are using her for anybody to pretty much stick their hand in there if you are in an area that you need to be aware of your surroundings and things like that. The Polene, if you have it cinched in on the sides and you choose to add that little clasp, it really just makes it very difficult for anybody to be able to stick their hand in there. And then if you do cinch out the sides, it really narrows down the opening of the handbag overall. So in that case, I do feel that Polene's magnetic closure has an advantage over Louis Vuitton's little lobster clasp situation. All right, now for the grand finale of this comparison video, I did want to share with you guys how it is that a laptop fits on both of these bags. Keep in mind, again, my Polene is the mini size, so the smaller option, I do feel like a laptop will fit a lot more comfortable in the regular size. My laptop in particular is a 13-inch MacBook, so I'll go ahead and put it inside. And don't get me wrong, she will fit in there, so you can definitely carry a laptop if you needed to, because that specific day calls for you to take in your laptop to work or to school or anything like that. However, if it is going to be a daily necessity that you need, I honestly don't think that I would recommend this handbag in order to do so. The length of the bottom of the Polene Mini is not as big as the laptop is. So the laptop basically sits right here. And I can totally see over time this wearing, maybe the leather even just getting a lot of bad wear over time there, potentially causing it to break, if that is something that can possibly happen in a leather handbag. I mean, it's never happened to any of my bags, but then again, I do take care of my bags. So that's why I wanted to point it out, because if you do expect to use this as a work bag or as a school bag, and a laptop is something that you need to take in every single day, I just personally would go the route of the regular size and not the mini. Now with the Neverfull MM, a laptop would fit inside perfectly fine. At least a 13-inch. I do have bigger laptops and they don't fit inside of the MM. For that, you would probably have to go the GM size. But I did want to share with you that, again, my 13-inch MacBook lays in there perfectly. And you can see, like, if you're looking from the outside, you can't even imagine that I have a laptop in here. So this is exactly kind of like the route that you want to go if you do need a bag that you need to carry a laptop in, just because the width down here is pretty much the same width as the laptop. Therefore, the laptop is going to be able to lay in there a lot more comfortably. Okay, I did a little bit of rearranging because I want to share how the bag sort of fits on me and share mod shots. Now, here is a better side-by-side comparison of these two. And here's what they look like on the side. So as I had previously mentioned, the drop of the shoulder strap from the Neverfull is 9 inches, while the drop from the Polene Cyme in the mini size is 11.5 inches. And you can totally see it here. So it more or less hits me right underneath my chest, while the Neverfull, it kind of hits me at the middle of my chest. Now, one thing I want to point out is these handles are currently kind of stiff and sort of stay put like this. You could definitely tuck them in on your own if you wanted to, but I definitely also feel like with time, the leather is going to soften up and it's definitely just going to fold over on its own. Once you do tuck in the handles, I mean, this bag is literally just like a tote bag. Very comfortable to carry on your shoulder. Like no rubbing of the handles or anything underneath your arm. Super comparable to a regular tote bag in my opinion. And then if you wanted to carry it with the shoulder strap as a top handle, this is more or less how they would look. So just a little bit of a comparison there. And then you do have the option to carry the Polene Cyme Mini as a top handle, because she actually does come with top handle straps. So this is what it would look like as a top handle. And then here's a comparison with the Neverfull in the MM size. Okay, and then I wanted to share with you guys what the handbags look once you use them cinch in. So again, Neverfull MM and Polene Cyme in the mini size. The seam in the mini size is definitely a lot smaller, but as I was saying, she definitely fills that void in my collection because I don't carry enough to want to use the Neverfull MM, but I do carry enough things where I could have a little bit of a tote bag and actually wear it as a tote bag and feel comfortable, and not wear the Neverfull MM and have the bag like almost half empty in a sense. So I really do enjoy the size of the Polene Cyme. I think it's very practical, very comfortable as well. So here is a shot of them side by side. And then here is what they look like on me on the shoulder. Now, really quick, I did want to point out two things in regards to the Polene Cyme. And as I said, I do have a first impressions where I go into a lot of detail. I also share what fits inside and what I'm carrying. So if you want to go ahead and get more information, go ahead and check out that video. I'll make sure to link it at the end of this video as well. But first, keep in mind that the straps are a full leather strap. So kind of like even a Longchamp, which I have gotten a few of you reach out to me in regards to brand new Longchamps. When you throw it over your shoulder, there could definitely be the possibility where the strap will come off like this. And that's just because the leather hasn't softened enough and hasn't kind of like gotten the shape of your shoulder in order to just fully sit there very comfortably. The Neverfull is the perfect example. So when you get a Neverfull, you see, it literally just fell like on its own. And that's because it hasn't really molded to your shoulder. And again, back to the Neverfull. When you get a Neverfull, especially in the damier ebene, these straps are like extremely stiff. And when you put them over your shoulder, I guarantee you that the same thing will happen. I don't remember if it happened on mine because I've had mine for so long. But please, if you do have a Neverfull that you've gotten recently, let us know in the comment section down below. But now the top handle or the shoulder straps of the Neverfull literally just fit perfectly on my shoulder. And then the other thing that I did want to point out in regards to this one is, again, being the stiffness of the brand new leather. These top handles will of course slouch over time. I mean, I've only had her for about a week and a half. When I'm filming this video, by the time that you see it, it's probably been a month. But these straps are already like loosening and kind of like softening up. However, right now, if I do just grab the bag like this and throw it over my shoulder, due to the fact that these top handles are a little bit more stiff at the moment, my elbow definitely kind of gets stuck there and I have to like shimmy the bag and then get it over my shoulder. It is, again, something that I pointed out in that first impressions, but since we're already, there she goes again. Since we're already doing a comparison video, I thought I might as well point it out here. All right, so I think I couldn't have gotten like more in depth with this comparison. If you own any of these two, or if you own one or the other, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you really think that the Polene Cyme can easily become an alternative to the Neverfull? I hope you did enjoy the comparison. If you liked it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you feel like this video can be helpful for someone that you know, please go ahead and share. As always, I appreciate you guys taking some time out of your day to spend with me today, and I hope to catch you all in my next one. Bye everyone.